can speak. What? I got your gun.
Fans never noticed these things about Star Trek, despite spending countless hours exploring the franchise's vast universe. While Star Trek's legacy has spanned more than 50 years and produced some of pop culture's most beloved characters, it also harbors fascinating behind-the-scenes secrets. These top 15 things reveal the ingenious creativity behind the franchise. In this video, we'll discover how many of Star Trek's most distinctive elements emerged from necessity rather than design. Together, let's explore these fascinating discoveries that have remained hidden in plain sight for decades. Come along. Number 15. Scotty's missing finger. Among the many secrets hidden within Star Trek's original series, Montgomery Scotty Scott's missing finger remains one of the most poignant yet often overlooked physical details by casual viewers. Chief Engineer Scotty, portrayed by Canadian actor James Doohan, expertly concealed a significant war injury throughout his career in Starfleet. Let's talk about James Doohan's war injury. Before becoming the Enterprise's miracle worker, Doohan served as a lieutenant in the Royal Canadian Artillery during World War II. On June 6, 1944, D-Day, he led his men across Juno Beach during the Normandy landings. In the chaos of battle, Doohan was struck by 6 bullets, 4 in his leg, 1 through his chest, and 1 that took his right middle finger. The chest shot would have been fatal if not for a silver cigarette case that deflected the bullet. His military service earned him commendations for bravery, yet left him with permanent physical reminders of combat. How was it hidden on screen? Throughout filming, the production team employed clever techniques to hide Doohan's missing digit. The actor primarily used his left hand for on-screen activities or kept his right hand partially closed. Camera angles often captured him from his left side, particularly during technical maneuvers at engineering stations. When both hands needed to be visible, Doohan would use stand-in-hand doubles for close-up shots. Additionally, prop designers created specialized tools and equipment that Scotty could operate without revealing his full right hand. You thought you knew Star Trek inside and out, but what if we told you there are tiny details hidden in plain sight that even the most hardcore fans missed? Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll never watch Star Trek the same way again. Number 14. Recycled whiskey bottles as alien props. Look closely at the elegant alien liquor containers in Star Trek, and fans might recognize something familiar: ordinary whiskey bottles. Throughout the original series, prop masters made clever use of everyday objects, transforming them into exotic alien artifacts. Yet many viewers never realized they were seeing repurposed Earth products. It's none other than the George Dickel bottle trick. The iconic Saurian brandy container stands as perhaps the most recognizable example of this creative repurposing. These distinctive bottles originated as 1964 commemorative George Dickel Tennessee whiskey bottles featuring a unique powder horn design. Prop departments transformed these ordinary glass vessels into exotic alien containers through minimal modification. Both lighter and darker brown glass variants appeared on screen, though collectors note the lighter brown version is considered more screen accurate. These specific bottles became so iconic that surviving authentic examples are now rare treasures sought by both Star Trek enthusiasts and bourbon collectors. The original 1964 release bottles, full, intact, and sealed, are particularly valuable, with very few remaining worldwide. The whiskey bottle technique exemplifies a broader pattern of ingenious prop reuse throughout the original series. Production teams frequently repurposed everyday items for alien environments. Salt shakers became Dr. McCoy's medical instruments, modified household appliances transformed into technical equipment, and packaging materials reappeared as control panels. Given the tight television production schedules and modest budgets, these creative solutions allowed the series to present an impressive array of alien technology without expensive custom fabrication for every prop. Number 13. Shatner vs. Nemoy, Font Size Feud. Star Trek's iconic opening credits concealed a behind-the-scenes contract stipulation that few fans recognized. William Shatner and Leonard Nimoy engaged in a peculiar feud over font sizes. This lesser-known dispute offers a glimpse into the complex relationship between the show's two leading actors and the contractual maneuvering that shaped the franchise. What was this contractual font size clause? Hidden within contractual agreements was a specific typographical requirement governing how actors' names would appear in credits. Documentation reveals that Nimoy's credit was contractually mandated to be no less than 75% of the size and type afforded star. This precise percentage wasn't arbitrary. It represented a careful negotiation of status between the show's leads. Beginning with the fourth aired episode, The Naked Time, the production team implemented a specific credit change. Also starring Leonard Nimoy as Mr. Spock, 75%. The production office explicitly noted, "Leonard's credit is to be no more than 75% of the type that we afford to William Shatner." Consequently, even when earlier episodes returned from network airing, these typographical adjustments would be applied before potential reruns. How did it impact on cast dynamics? This credit size disparity reflected broader tensions within the cast hierarchy. The favored nations clause in both actors' contracts required equal treatment between the two stars. Typically, this stipulation ensured equal pay and screen time, yet it became a point of contention that extended beyond the original series. Their peculiar professional relationship continued throughout subsequent Trek films, where Shatner notably invoked this clause to demand directorial opportunities after Nimoy directed a movie. Furthermore, the attention to detail regarding credits contrasted with the production's more flexible approach to other cast members. As one memo noted regarding DeForest Kelley, "He has had better credit than we were contractually obligated to furnish him." Number 12. Bubble wrap as Klingon armor. The fearsome appearance of Klingon warriors stands as one of Star Trek's most recognizable elements. Yet few viewers realize their intimidating armor partially consisted of ordinary bubble wrap. This creative costuming choice represents the ingenious behind-the-scenes solutions that made the science fiction universe come alive, despite modest television budgets. Klingon armor first showcased its bubble wrap elements during the first season of the original series. Notably, in the late first season episode Errand of Mercy, actor John Colicos appeared as Klingon Commander Kor wearing a costume that incorporated a painted strip of bubble wrap as a belt buckle. The costume department didn't simply use the material in its recognizable form, they transformed it through painting and strategic placement to create something that appeared alien and militaristic. The specific material, referred to by the costume department as sealed air, became a signature element of the Klingon aesthetic. Why did it work for Klingon costumes? Contrary to what many assume, the bubble wrap wasn't merely a budget-cutting measure. According to costume designer Bill Thays, this unusual material choice stemmed from artistic vision rather than financial limitations. My main approach for turning contemporary fabrics into futuristic materials is to employ things out of context, Thays explained. The textured surface of bubble wrap, when properly treated, suggested an alien technology or armor plating that appeared suitably foreign to Earth audiences. When enthusiasts eventually identified the humble packaging material in Klingon costumes, it added another layer of appreciation for the show's resourcefulness. Furthermore, this revelation highlighted how effective the visual deception had been. The material looked so natural in its science fiction context that viewers never questioned its authenticity for decades. The discovery now circulates among Trek trivia enthusiasts as evidence of the production team's creative problem-solving abilities. Number 11. Ping-Pong Ball Starship. The massive alien spacecraft that first confronted the Enterprise in the Corbomite maneuver looked impressive on screen. Yet what many viewers don't realize is that this intimidating vessel was constructed using ordinary ping-pong balls. How ping-pong balls became a spaceship. The Fesarius holds the distinction of being the first alien starship encountered in the entire Star Trek franchise. According to production documents, this remarkable model was essentially a big ball covered in cut-in-half ping-pong balls and fairly out of focus. Designed by Matt Jefferies, the vessel's construction has been attributed to Hua Chang, as documented in Desilu's purchase orders archived at UCLA. Some sources indicate the structure consisted of a plaster of Paris shell with ping-pong balls strategically glued to create its distinctive appearance. The production team enhanced the model with a pair of dimmers to make the model ship pulsate with power, adding a sense of alien technology to the relatively simple construction. However, creating this effect proved challenging. The visual effects sequences were filmed at the Howard Anderson Company between June and October 1966, ultimately costing $17,317. Subsequently, these technical challenges prevented the Corbomite maneuver from airing as Star Trek's first episode. Regardless of production challenges, the ping-pong ball starship became an iconic early example of Star Trek's creative problem-solving. When CBS Digital recreated the Fesarius as a CGI model for the remastered series in 2006, the visual effects artists intentionally remained faithful to the original design while adding subtle details that, as Michael Okuda noted, probably should have been there at the beginning. Interestingly, debate exists among fans concerning the exact materials used. More recent analysis suggests the surface might have actually contained large acrylic dome shank buttons with smaller, more golden ones at junctions, or some sort of pre-made material or costume jewelry rather than ping-pong balls. Nevertheless, this resourceful approach to alien spacecraft design represents the innovation that helped Star Trek transcend its modest television budget. Star Trek fans are known for spotting everything, or so we thought. But somehow, these sneaky little moments flew under the radar. You're about to find out. And trust us, number 1 on this list will blow your mind. Stay with us till the end, because the best surprise is coming right up. Number 10. James R. Kirk Tombstone Error. One of the earliest continuity errors in Star Trek history appears on a tombstone that shouldn't have existed at all. In the 3rd episode of the original series, Where No Man Has Gone Before, viewers witnessed a perplexing discrepancy that would become the subject of fan debate for decades. How did this early episode mistake happen? The error occurs when Lieutenant Commander Gary Mitchell, having developed godlike psychic powers after passing through the galactic barrier, creates a grave for Captain Kirk. The tombstone Mitchell crafts reads James R. Kirk, yet throughout the rest of the series, Kirk's middle initial is consistently T for Tiberius. This tombstone inscription stands as one of the most obvious continuity errors in early Star Trek, appearing alongside other production inconsistencies, like the noticeably different Starfleet uniforms used in this episode. Interestingly, the error was never physically corrected in the episode itself. Even during the remastering process decades later, the visual effects team debated whether to digitally alter the R to a T, but ultimately decided against it due to the ridiculous amount of rotoscope work required. Instead, the explanation came from Star Trek creator Gene Roddenberry himself. According to D.C. Fontana, in the introduction for Star Trek, the classic Episodes 1, Roddenberry's official response was simply that Gary Mitchell had godlike powers, but at base, he was human. He made a mistake. This elegant explanation preserved both the continuity of the show and the original filming without requiring special effects corrections. Number 9. Rear projection starfield trick. While the Enterprise appeared to soar through an infinite cosmos, the starfield behind Captain Kirk's vessel was created through clever visual trickery that remained invisible to most viewers. The imaginative special effects team devised unique approaches to simulate space that became hallmarks of the original series' distinct visual style. How was the effect achieved? The production team utilized an Oxbury optical printer to create the illusion of space travel. This advanced equipment, unique at the time, could perform 5:1 reductions through 4:1 enlargements with continuous automatic focusing. To create a convincing star field, artists painted black stars on a white background, measuring approximately 2.5 by 3 feet. They then photographed this canvas and tracked it in multiple directions, left, right, top, and bottom, using different black outmats for each pass. These various movements were superimposed at different speeds to create the illusion of the Enterprise racing through space, faster than light. The process started with a sky containing approximately 500 stars and finished with perhaps 30 on each pass. For stationary background stars, the team punched holes of various sizes through large sheets of black paper. These were backed by special diffusion screens and color filters to achieve the desired effect. The combination of scenes filmed at varying camera distances and travel speeds created a realistic illusion of depth. Why was this rare? The complex rear projection technique remained relatively uncommon throughout the original series, primarily because of the extensive labor required. Each starfield setup demanded meticulous preparation and multiple filming passes. The optical printing process itself was time-consuming. A typical ship flyby might take an entire day to film with motion control. With multiple ships, this could extend to a full week, especially when adding explosions and interactive lighting. Number 8. Flipped Enterprise shot to hide Earth. The Starship Enterprise occasionally sailed through space backward, at least from certain camera angles. Throughout the original series, sharp-eyed viewers might notice something odd about specific exterior shots of the iconic vessel. The registration numbers appeared mirror-imaged. Why was this shot flipped? In television production, flipping footage served practical purposes beyond simple error. On occasion, visual effects teams intentionally reversed footage to create new shots without additional filming costs. This tactic became necessary when Earth or other unwanted elements appeared in the background of otherwise usable footage. As a consequence, the effects team would flip the negative horizontally, which effectively removed the problematic elements but created a mirrored image of the starship. These production shortcuts generally went unnoticed by general audiences, yet created subtle continuity errors that persisted for decades. How did fans spot it? On closer inspection, dedicated Trek enthusiasts identified these reversed shots by examining the USS Enterprise's registry markings. At the beginning of one episode, as the Enterprise docks at a starbase, viewers can see the ship's registry numbers backward on both the underside of the saucer section and the nacelle pylon. The distinctive NCC 1701 designation, normally readable from left to right, appears mirrored. Throughout various episodes, similar instances occurred where careful observation revealed backward text and asymmetrical ship details. Number 7. Starfleet insignia wasn't always universal. The iconic arrowhead emblem worn proudly on Captain Kirk's uniform represents one of the most misunderstood elements in Star Trek lore. Even longtime viewers often miss a crucial detail. Throughout the original series, this famous insignia wasn't meant to represent all of Starfleet. It specifically identified crew members serving aboard the USS Enterprise. Upon careful examination of various episodes, distinct ship-specific emblems become visible whenever crews from other vessels appear. The USS Exeter personnel wore a circle with a spike passing through it, as seen in the Omega Glory. Meanwhile, the starship Defiant featured a hollow delta without the starburst background in the Tholian web. Engineers from starbases displayed a spiral-shaped insignia. Yet these subtle differences frequently went unnoticed by casual audiences. This meticulous attention to detail reflected creator Gene Roddenberry's military background and understanding of unit insignias. When did the arrowhead become standard? Following the unprecedented success of the original 5-year mission portrayed in the series, Starfleet Command made a remarkable decision. They adopted the Enterprise's arrowhead as the standard emblem for the entire organization. This transition occurred between the original series and Star Trek, the motion picture, where every Starfleet officer suddenly wore the familiar insignia. The in-universe explanation suggests this change honored the legendary achievements of Kirk's crew, transforming their specific ship's emblem into Starfleet's universal symbol. Did you know that subsequent productions maintained remarkable consistency with this concept? Star Trek, The Next Generation, Deep Space Nine, and Voyager all featured the arrowhead design, albeit with variations appropriate to their eras. Fascinatingly, Star Trek Enterprise, being a prequel set before the original series, deliberately avoided the arrowhead, instead utilizing a distinctive oval emblem that predated the insignia variations seen in Kirk's time. This thoughtful visual storytelling created a cohesive evolution of Starfleet symbolism across the franchise. Number 6. Mayberry backlot reuse. In an unexpected crossover between science fiction and small-town Americana, the streets Captain Kirk and Spock walked in 2 iconic episodes were literally the same backlot where Sheriff Andy Taylor patrolled. This resourceful set sharing between 2 vastly different television universes represents one of the classic series' most fascinating production secrets. Did you know that the production shared sets with The Andy Griffith Show? The fictional town of Mayberry, North Carolina, from The Andy Griffith Show, transformed into alien landscapes and historical settings for Star Trek's original series. This creative repurposing allowed viewers to see aspects of the Mayberry set often hidden in its home series. Interestingly, the Star Trek episodes revealed the full height of Mayberry's buildings, which were typically framed to appear single-story in The Andy Griffith Show. Joan Collins, who guest-starred in Star Trek, recalled reporting to the same soundstage where NBC shot The Andy Griffith Show. This practical overlap demonstrates how television productions maximized limited studio resources even between drastically different genres. Were there episodes where it was visible? Yes. 2 specific episodes showcase this backlot repurposing. In Miri, the Mayberry set was redressed as a ghost town inhabited solely by children. Even more prominently, the city on the edge of forever transformed Mayberry into 1930s New York City when Kirk and Spock traveled back in time. Attentive viewers might spot Floyd's Barbershop sign from The Andy Griffith Show visible in the background of these episodes. Additional recognizable structures include the Mayberry Hotel, which appears in full view without the railing normally seen in The Andy Griffith Show. The courthouse and Walker's Drug Store are likewise visible from angles never featured in their home series. Why THID budget saving technique? This set sharing exemplifies the production team's ingenuity, amid financial constraints. The city on the edge of forever significantly exceeded its allocated budget, costing $245,316 versus the planned $191,000. Consequently, director Joseph Pevney was required to film at pre-established NBC studios to contain costs. As a demonstration of fiscal responsibility to network executives, Pevney conducted extended shooting sessions, filming continuously throughout day and night. Such pragmatic approaches allowed Star Trek to create diverse worlds, despite modest television budgets. So you've seen every episode, know every alien race, and quote Spock in your sleep? There are secrets even the biggest fans missed, and the final one is so shocking, even the crew tried to hide it. Don't blink, and definitely don't skip, because the best stuff is waiting at the very end. Number 5. GNDN Pipes Joke. Throughout the various decks of the USS Enterprise, observant fans might notice pipes and conduits with mysterious GNDN labels. This subtle detail represents one of the most enduring inside jokes in Star Trek production history. Yet most viewers never realized its humorous meaning. What does GNDN stands for? GNDN is an acronym with a straightforward definition: goes nowhere, does nothing. According to an interview with John Jeffries, one of the original set designers, the plumbing and pipes in the Enterprise all had color codes and some form of nomenclature on it, and GNDN with a number behind it, and then a color code became very common throughout the Enterprise. This practical joke identified pipes that were purely decorative set pieces rather than functional components. Interestingly, the production team created an entire labeling system for these non-functional elements, adding authenticity to the fictional starship's appearance. The GNDN label exemplifies how production crews entertained themselves amid demanding filming schedules. These labeled pipes appeared throughout various corridors and engineering sections, creating a consistent visual language that added depth to the Enterprise's interior. Indeed, the joke extended beyond simple labeling. The pipes themselves were nicknamed Gundans in reference to their decorative purpose. Production designer Dave Blass noted that these humorous elements were carefully balanced with technical accuracy. Even though we want to make it accurate, we're gonna make it actually accurate and make it proper, rather than having to joke. What's the legacy of the label? This subtle gag transcended the original series, becoming part of Star Trek tradition. When the Deep Space Nine crew rebuilt Enterprise sets for their 30th anniversary tribute episode, Trials and Tribulations, they deliberately included GNDN pipes as an homage. Nonetheless, debate exists regarding the joke's origins. Some dedicated fans insist they've never spotted actual GNDN markings in original footage. Regardless, the concept has certainly influenced later Star Trek productions, with modern set designers continuing to include these references as respectful nods to their predecessors. Number 4. Boom mic cameo in Charlie X. Even seasoned Trekkies exploring the original series may have missed the unintended guest star in Charlie X, a boom microphone that made its way into the final cut. This third episode of Star Trek's inaugural season contains several production errors that slipped past editing, yet still managed to charm audiences for decades. How the mic slipped into frame. In a pivotal scene where Charlie catches up with Yeoman Rand to present her with a gift, an intrusive boom microphone visibly moves around at the bottom of the screen. This equipment cameo occurs approximately 6 minutes into the episode, 00:6:48, and remains visible throughout several shots, featuring both characters. Given that the original series was filmed on relatively confined sets, with multiple camera angles, keeping boom microphones out of frame posed a persistent challenge for the production team. Prior to sophisticated editing capabilities, such errors frequently remained in the final broadcast. Charlie X contains several additional production oversights beyond the wandering microphone. After Dr. McCoy examines Charlie, attentive viewers can spot actors' floor marks, a shorter one for Charlie and a longer one for McCoy, 000456. Likewise, when Uhura informs Kirk about Captain Rumart's communication, tape markers are clearly visible behind her, indicating where Charlie would stand after exiting the turbolift. Throughout various episodes, shadows of boom microphones frequently appeared overhead, as seen in The Enemy Within. Why did fans love these errors? These production glitches represent more than simple mistakes. They've become treasured artifacts among dedicated viewers. As noted by one fan resource, spotting members of the crew on camera is a subgenre of the larger pantheon of flubs. Interestingly, websites like Scientia have created extensive galleries documenting these visual bloopers. Rather than diminishing enjoyment, these human errors remind audiences that behind the futuristic facade stood hard-working crews creating science fiction magic with limited resources. Devotees appreciate these moments precisely because they required eagle-eyed fans paying close attention to spot every single detail. Number 3. Visible set rigging in where no man has gone before. Second only to the pilot, The Cage. The episode Where No Man Has Gone Before showcases fascinating production elements that casual viewers typically overlook. Throughout this crucial early installment, eagle-eyed fans can spot various behind-the-scenes equipment not meant for the camera's gaze. What were the unintended background elements? The Delta Vega lithium cracking station scenes reveal numerous production shortcuts typical of 1960s television. At several points in the episode, lighting stands and stage rigging become visible at the edges of frames. Most noticeably, during Gary Mitchell's confrontation with Kirk in the station's control room, metal scaffold supports can be glimpsed behind the set walls. In addition, electrical cables snake across the floor in certain shots, as the production team worked with limited resources to create what would become a landmark science fiction universe. These elements appear primarily during wide-angle shots, as the camera captures the dramatic standoff between Mitchell and Kirk. How did this break immersion? For contemporary viewers accustomed to perfectly polished productions, these visible elements would immediately disrupt the fictional world. Yet for audiences of the era, such glimpses behind the curtain were often overlooked as they focused on the narrative itself. Curiously, some first-time modern viewers report these technical imperfections actually enhance their appreciation for the shoestring budget creativity that propelled Star Trek into cultural prominence. The visible rigging reveals how groundbreaking this science fiction template was, considering its modest television budget and technical limitations. Number 2. Shuttle set glitch in Galileo 7. The Galileo 7 episode reveals fascinating production glitches that expose the boundary between Star Trek's fictional universe and its humble studio reality. Throughout this tense storyline about a stranded shuttlecraft, unintended glimpses behind the curtain offer modern fans a peek into television production challenges of the 1960s. Upon closer inspection of key scenes, viewers can spot moments where the illusion breaks down completely. Following Spock's instructions to electrify the ship's exterior, he turns in the rear compartment, inadvertently revealing the edge of the shuttlecraft set behind him. Furthermore, as McCoy and Boma carry Gaetano's body to the back of the shuttle, the top of the set's blue backdrop becomes clearly visible through the doorway. These momentary breaks in continuity continue throughout the episode. When the camera swings around to simulate a crewman's perspective, the upper portion of the background becomes visible until the camera hastily pans downward. What are the challenges of practical effects? The rugged landscape surrounding the shuttlecraft simultaneously demonstrates the ingenuity and limitations of practical effects techniques. As spears strike what appears to be solid rock, observant viewers might notice the surface wobbling unnaturally. One particularly revealing moment occurs when a spear hit sends styrofoam chips flying into the air, instantly transforming an alien world into a studio set. Beyond the shuttle itself, technical difficulties emerge even during bridge scenes. After Spock ignites the jettisoned fuel, shadows from camera equipment visibly move across the helm console. The remastering of Star Trek's original series faced unique challenges compared to contemporary shows. Whereas newer productions like Friends could access original negatives, Star Trek's effects team had only 35mm master prints available. This limitation immediately eliminated the possibility of widescreen conversion, since no additional content existed beyond the original frame. As a result, many effect sequences proved impossible to separate from live shots. Despite these constraints, remastering teams carefully balanced preserving authenticity while improving visual quality, creating a respectful update that maintains the charm of these occasionally visible production compromises. Number 1. Unpainted set in Errand of Mercy. Sharp-eyed viewers might catch glimpses of raw, unpainted lumber during intense moments of Errand of Mercy, exposing production realities that typically remain hidden from audiences. This classic episode, featuring the first appearance of Klingons, contains several noticeable set construction elements that momentarily break the illusion of an alien world. During the initial Klingon attack sequence, an unpainted piece of lumber from the set is clearly visible directly below where Spock stands. Furthermore, as the Enterprise returns fire against the Klingon vessel, attentive viewers can spot the set's unfinished wood plank with distinctive gray paint drip marks at the bottom of the screen. These production oversights extend beyond mere wooden elements. When Spock walks beside Kirk's chair, the actor's mark becomes visible on the floor near his feet. Most noticeably, when Kirk is thrown into jail alongside Spock, the entire blue crash mat used to break his fall can be seen. How did imagination fill the gaps? Ultimately, these production shortcuts contributed to Star Trek's distinctive minimalist aesthetic. The show's austere and efficient environments actually helped focus viewer attention on characters rather than elaborate sets. In essence, the minimalist setting created circumstances where the smallest object draws attention to itself. What began as budget necessity transformed into a visual style where imagination filled the gaps, creating a universe that felt more expansive than its humble studio origins suggested. With this, we have come to the end of this video. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, do well to like, comment, and subscribe for more content. To enjoy more thrilling stories, click now on the following video that pops up on your screen.